Forza has been out for less than a week, and honestly, I'm shocked by how fun it actually is. I didn't think it would be this addictive. In the space of 4 days, I played just over 10 hours. I know to some that may not be a lot, but come on, the game's going to be out for years till we get the next one. So I'm not going to be that guy that tries to play like 100 hours in the space of a week just to complete the game. Like, I actually want to enjoy it. 11 hours in the space of 4 days, that's roughly just over 2 hours a day. So that's a lot for a normal person to be playing a game. There's a lot to get into. Firstly, I gotta say the map is actually really good. In 5, they made that map based on the game Eliminator, which already not a lot of people play. So it was just a bunch of open space. I mean, Forza Horizon 4, I really enjoyed driving around the country roads, which yes, you could say is open space. When that's the only thing you have in a map going on, I understand why people don't like it. Whereas 6, it is very diverse. There's cities, there's open roads, there's just so much. I've explored about half of it, and I can honestly say this is the best map out of all the games. My favourite bits are just the areas with the pink trees, just because of how unique it is. That's not something you get here in the UK. The best part of the UK for driving has to be country roads. When we first got some footage of the game, a big problem was how wide the roads are, and honestly from playing it, I barely see any of the wide roads. I just see normal sized roads. Yes, there may be some roads that are too big, but again, most of the map, it is really good, and you're not really going to bump into these wide roads most of the time. So this first impression that we had from the gameplay, I just think, yeah, that has been debunked and everyone's now looking past that now. And overall, I think many people can agree this is the best map that we have. It is a bit crazy to think it took them the 6th game to finally get Japan. I know loads of people wanted that when 4 was coming out or 5. But again, I think, okay, back then, if they did make Japan, it would not have been as good. And they did mention how the Hot Wheels expansion in 5 helped them develop Japan just because of the different levels and stuff, which, again, I'm not a developer, so can't really speak on that. All I can say is the final product, it is really good. Main thing I'm enjoying is the whole progression system. They brought the whole wristband thing from the first game, rather than you coming into this game as like a boss or a CEO that's like developing. I think that original rookie system is really good, and it does give you a feeling of wanting to progress in the game. Something like Need for Speed, which I believe they're the best at. I don't know what it is about that game, but every year when I play that game, it's just, I've just got this sort of excitement to want to play more. I want to play, I want to progress. Whereas like some games, let's say like Forza Horizon 5, you go in there, you drive around, have your fun. I don't really have this urge in me to complete the story or do the races and level up. It was just missing that, whereas this game, they brought that back to life. When they first did mention progression, I understood the wristband setting because we had that in 1. But in terms of like cars and stuff, I thought, okay, you won't be able to drive a certain class of cars until you unlock it in the actual main gameplay or by doing like the races. However, my expectation of that just wasn't true. Like with me, with a few hours of gameplay, I've already got a lot of cars in my garage. I did get the premium edition of Forza, which I understand you're going to have a welcome pack, get gifted cars, and there's also that loyalty as well from playing the previous Forza games. But in my head, I thought, okay, yes, you're going to get given a lot of cars, but until you unlock that class in races, then you'll get to drive them, which that just wasn't true. I mean, I'm not going to call it a con because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's choosing to drive what car I want. I do think if they'd done something like that, and even getting gifted cars as well as something else, like when you get an option to select a car, you choose one, you end up getting gifted all 3 of them. So that selection doesn't really make sense. Like, it's just choose what you want to drive now. And not only that, when you complete certain races, you just get gifted a car. And that's how your garage actually accumulates, which at the start, that's not really what you want. I mean, it does sort of take away and contradict the progression system. At the same time, you got to think, at least they're doing something with the wristbands though. Something new, I wouldn't say they added, but improved on is Anna, the little AI assistant you have. It's so nice being able to complete a race, switch her on, ask her what is next, and you get recommendations on what to do. That just makes it so you actually have a path to go down, rather than mindlessly finding things to do. On top of that, you got the auto drive feature. It was pretty random having like an AI drive your car. I mean, the AI, it's not bad. It's very nice just having that, switching it on. You could just sit back, enjoy the view. If you have a fried attention span, you could just scroll on your phone, which I wouldn't recommend. It is really useful for when you want to go grab a snack, grab a drink, you come back and you're there, you've arrived at wherever you want to go. It's something I've been using a lot more than fast travel. Speaking of fast travel, it's a good thing that they actually made it free. I've never understood why they would charge something like 10k and expect you to break so many billboards just to get that price down. Before the game was actually released, this could have been one of those content creators that got to play it early. They showed off the sense of speed in the Miata, and honestly, when driving fast, it actually looked scary. But my concern was, it's a Miata going like 240 plus miles per hour. What's it going to look like, let's say, in a hypercar that's stock, or even let's say a normal car which is fast in real life? So here I got an AMG 1 that I launched on the motorway or highway. I don't know how Japanese people say it. So from the actual takeoff and like 0 to 100, not much of a difference I really see. But once I start picking up the speed around like 140, that's when the camera actually starts shaking and it genuinely feels fast. Now the recording might not be doing me justice, but like right here, 180, 190, I can tell, yes, I am going really fast without even having to look at the speedometer. And I can truly see an improvement from 5. Like, I can tell I am going fast. And even the handling as well, it has improved. But then here's my problem, a car like a GR86, I know it's not the fastest if you compare it to like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, or even let's say like an M2. I know it's not a car that's made to go fast in a straight line, but you can still go fast in this car, speed like 100 miles per hour, or even just pushing this car to its limit. It should feel fast, and I'll show you right now how it feels. Okay, so 0 to 60, don't really notice much. 70, like, it doesn't feel fast. Like right now I'm redlining the car. You can see it just feels like I'm cruising. Like if you blur out the speed, and I tell you I'm going like 40 miles per hour, it's believable. And you just don't get that feeling in a car like this, which is just a shame. Like 130, that should start to feel shaky, especially in this car. And even right there where I changed gears, you don't really notice a big difference. It was nice to see the improvements in a hypercar when going fast, but it's just a shame that you wouldn't see in any sort of normal car or a car that's not insanely fast. Speaking about cars, there was quite a lot of cars that were just randomly removed. This list right here, there's around 36 cars. If you think about the fact that there's almost 1,000 cars in the last game, it's not a lot. Out of this list, not a lot of them stand out. Maybe the M3 Comp, I'd say that stands out. TTRS, the RS5. But I was a bit surprised the GT 500 in 1970 is gone. Like surely, like people would love to recreate like a Tokyo Drift moment. I don't know if they wanted to remake these models, they didn't think it was good enough, but I thought maybe at least these cars, or these two that I'm pretty sure came out in Forza Horizon 5, they would still be in there. Like that should be good enough. Like there is still some cars from like older previous games that you could tell has not really been upgraded that are in 6. So that's a bit random. Car sounds were something that were improved. From my experience, you could say things like whistling sounds and like brake screeches. I mean, those were quite controversial, but I'd say the game has improved on that. It's not the best game when it comes to sounds. There still is work to do. But here's a good comparison of our R32 Skyline. So I could tell they do sound different. If I had to say one thing, I'd say the suction sounds are better. I mean, you do hear the turbo in 5 as well, like just there when it shifts. Yeah, the idle sounds definitely have been improved. You can see the smoke as well come from exhausts now. You can hear the turbo as well in 5. The 5 isn't that bad. I mean, if I'm being honest, yeah, in terms of which one's better, I think it's solely preference. I would say 6 is better just because I feel like they improved on like the suction sounds or whistling, however you describe it. What I don't understand, the difference in sounds though, I don't understand. Like 2021, that's not like that long ago. Like surely you would think they sound similar, just a bit improved. But it does sort of sound like a different car, which is a bit weird. This is a comment that I agreed on. Forza was never great with sounds. 6 is good, but still they have a long way to go. Assetto Corsa, I don't play this game, but it is known for having really good car sounds. Let me just play this and compare that. So those sort of car sounds, they sound more realistic. And it's crazy to think a game that probably came out like years ago. I know it's probably modded and the graphics ain't the best, but surprisingly, that sounds really good. Another car we could look at is the AMG 1. I don't think it's the best sounding car. Some people like these sounds. I would say 6 definitely sounds better, but I just don't understand. Same thing is, why do they sound so different? Like, surely back then in 2021 or whenever you developed the game, you should sort of replicate the real life sound. And when they sound like 2 different cars, that's a bit odd. And that's what I mean by like the whole vacuum sound. It is better. But like, is that me saying it's better? Or is it just a sole preference on what you prefer? Because they don't really sound like the same car. In terms of graphically the game, it has improved when you compare like a side-by-side picture. I'd say 6 is more improved on, let's say, the reflections. But again, when there's people saying, oh my god, the game looks like real life, I think you need to touch grass. Like, it doesn't look like real life. It has improved. It looks good. I wouldn't say it's significant. If you told me that 6 was just 5 with a different map, I'd believe you, which I know it's a bit controversial to say, but it's not a bad thing because 5 has really good graphics. Like, there's not really much you can improve on, and in general, gaming graphics have plateaued because what else are you going to do? And you also got to think about hardware as well. Not everyone's going to have the best TV or the best PC or even like the best console. Looking at this, I think graphically the game is really good. It is a picture mode, and again, you don't know the person's like system or hardware or like what sort of screen he has, because that's going to make the game look different compared to different people. But this is a very good comparison to real life. It is good. The details as well, you could say Forza have done a really good job. I really like how they've done the lights. Now this is a really good comparison. So between different, you could say consoles, or there's a PC. So you've got the Steam Deck, the Series S, Series X, and then a PC, which I don't know what the specs are on the PC. Again, it's like, okay, I'd say best one, it's sort of hard to tell between Xbox and PC. If I look closely at the reflections, I could say, yeah, clearly the PC. But again, if you're on the worst one, which is what, the Series S, maybe not, maybe the Steam Deck. But again, it's like, if you played this, it wouldn't be that deep in it. Like, it's more about the experience of the game rather than the game being good. Like, you want to be able to have fun playing, not stare at an image and compare. So this, it doesn't really bother me. I'm playing on PC, which I don't know what I have my graphics on, but the graphics card, I have a 7900 XT, and then I have it connected to a TV when I play the game. Again, having like a blind sort of look, not a massive difference. I can see more detail in these two compared to these two. But I'm not going to be like a very big geek about graphics. Like, it's not the end of the world. I understand at the end of the day, Forza, it's not a simulation game, so everything's not going to be extremely realistic. But I think out of every racing game, Forza has the best balance between sim and actual arcadiness. Like, a game like Crew Motorfest, they do have a bunch of content. I don't like the handling because I find it very arcadey and weird, but I still play the game just for the content occasionally. Game like GTA, the driving, I know it's a 2013 game, I think that has terrible driving physics. Nothing compared to 6 or Forza in general, because they have the best. If the new GTA can have Forza's driving physics, that would be perfect. There wouldn't even be a need to release Midnight Club. They could just do like a Midnight Club expansion in the game. There was this video, I don't know if it's this exact one, or it could be one that was similar, but essentially it was a car just driving through trees, and you could just see a bunch of breakable trees. I know it looks weird and like people didn't really have like the best things to say about it, but you need to remember Forza, it is a sort of arcade game. It's not a massive simulation, and I think, yes, this does look weird, but in terms of playing, I'd prefer this than, let's say, it being realistic and your car damaging each time you hit a tree. Because you're playing for the fun, not for the flipping realism. So I think this is perfectly fine for Forza to do this. Now, I didn't expect loads of trees to be breakable. I know some of the pink trees, they're not breakable because of like religious stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. But there are so many trees in this game that are breakable compared to the previous ones, especially the bigger green ones. The final thing I want to talk about is the characters. I've never really cared because it's a racing game. I don't really care enough to actually have a customizable character. A big thing people are complaining about is the characters do look like sim characters, which, looking at them, yes, I remember when I first saw it, I thought, are these even human or are they supposed to be cartoons? I can't really tell. I don't know what sort of theme Forza's going for. But again, if you're going to have characters in a 2026 game, you do sort of have higher standards. You think, okay, is it going to look like a more real life human or a cartoon? Forza, I don't know what sort of route they're going down. It is something odd, but again, I don't really care enough for them to improve it. But what is weird is, if I don't know if many people have noticed this, but whenever you got like characters talking, so maybe at the end of a race or maybe like a barn find or whatever other situations that there are when you got characters speaking, they don't usually show the mouths of the characters. It's always like a cinematic that takes up most of the frame. Now, if you look closely, the mouths and the voice, they never match up. That, I'd say, it is really odd from a game this new. Like, you'd expect there to be some good lip syncing, but there just isn't. To summarize, this game is really good, honestly. Like I said, best game. I know I spoke about some stuff that may not be good or some things that are weird, but overall, I really enjoy this game. It is addictive. For me to be playing a game with like a total time of 11 hours in the space of 4 days, that is a lot for me. I don't play games that much. I just leave it for like the weekend, because as you grow older, you don't really play games as much. But yeah, looking at the ratings, it is rated 92, and even the player count as well. For a pre-release, there was like a massive number of people playing. The score 92, that is really high for a gamer score, but when you compare it to the previous games, 4 was widely rated, 5, it has a high score to my surprise. It has the same as 6, which, again, people love to speak about how negative the map is and just how boring the game is. It was a good game. I don't believe it was rubbish. I found it fun. Yes, I know the map was based off Eliminator, so it wasn't going to be the best. But again, I feel like they should have rated 6 higher, because for it to be the same as the last 2 games, it doesn't really explain how good the game actually is. Mind you, I've still got so much to play. I haven't even explored half the map. I don't know how much content I got left. I'm not going to try and complete as soon as possible, because remember, we're going to have this game for years. 7's not going to come out next week. You don't want to be that guy that completes a game in like less than a week and then just gets bored of it. Like, this is a game that I want to be enjoyable. I'm not going to try and turn it into a massive grind fest, trying to unlock every car, have as much money as possible, because at that point, when you're playing a game to increase stats compared to actually enjoying, they're two different things.